So I was asked to do a video, an updated video on my blush collection. I was requested to do this, so some of you wanted to see what I had in my blush collection and also recommend some shades and some blushes for people of, darker skin tone. But the blushes I do have can be worn for all skin tones, so I'm just going to show you which one. And also, if you want me to do a video on how I choose my blushes when I'm putting on my makeup, let me know. Thumbs up this video or something, and I will do a separate video on that. Just let you know how I choose what blush I wear depending on what look I have going on. I have a lot more than I did in my previous blush collection, so I'm just going to go straight into it. I will just show you swatches and the blushes up close and try to describe them. I can't show them on my face because there's so many to go through and it would take so long. I have a mixture of high-end and drugstore blushes. I don't see the point of spending so much money on high-end blushes because a lot of the drugstore ones are even better quality and more pigmented. So I'm going to show you the ones I have, and I'm also going to show you the ones I recommend for you as well. So I have quite a lot of sleek blushes. I have the ones that come in the small compact type thing, and I also have 4 of their palettes as well. They came out with 5, but I only got the 4. I only got 4 of the palettes. And then I have 4, 8, 12. I'm sure I have more than this. 12 of the normal sized ones. You can get Sleek online for those in the US or who live internationally. They do ship internationally, but a lot of you do complain about the shipping costs, so I'm guessing you can definitely check on eBay to see if anyone, is selling them. I wouldn't know because I buy mine from the store because we have a store that stocks Sleek, so I get mine from the store. But you can always have a look at eBay to see if they have anyone. First, start off with the limited edition ones, the ones that you can't get, unfortunately, but like I said, you could probably check on eBay. The first one is called Aruba. And this is the packaging. It came out in the Caribbean collection last summer. And this is described as a summery bright orange blush. You can see it looks really scary, but once you apply it onto your skin, it's not as intense. This is just with 2 swatches. So obviously you can build it up or, blend it out. It's really gorgeous colour. It's a matte shade as well. The next one is called Santorini. This is the packaging. This is described as a bright bluey pink shade, also very bright as well. And that's Santorini there. Really pretty. I'm trying to swatch them like 2 or 3 swatches so you can actually see the shades. I have Suede. Then this came in the natural collection, I think. Looks like that. This will be perfect for the lighter skin tones, medium skin tones. So it's like a hint of peach and brown. So I probably won't use this because it'd be too light for me on my cheeks, but I'll probably use it as an eyeshadow. And that's the shade right there. Fenberry. And this came out in the Berry collection last Christmas, so it was limited edition. Another one of my favourite blushes. Really, really gorgeous shade. This next shade is called Sahara. This is like an orangey bronze brown shade. One of my favourite sleek blushes. Perfect for darker skin tones. It's one of those ones where you just want a sweep of colour to your cheeks. Really nice. See there, really nice neutral shade. Then we have Coral. It isn't really a coral shade, though it says it's coral, but it's more like a brown orangey brown shade. Then we have Flushed. This is a red berry shade with a bit of brown, but more on the red side. Another gorgeous shade. Looks like that. Flamingo. This is a peachy pink with a slight red undertone, and it's also got some sort of sheen to it. And that looks like that. That's the one in the corner. I have Pomegranate. And this is a bright raspberry with a slight sheen as well. So that's Pomegranate, and the one next to that is Flamingo Pink. Quite close, but Pomegranate is just slightly darker. Scandalous, and it's looking quite orange on camera, but it's a really matte tomato red. Gorgeous, gorgeous shade on darker skin tones. This is a very difficult blush to get, and somehow I found it in a random store in London, but it's very difficult. You could probably get it on eBay. Now these two I consider as my highlight blushes. I don't wear them as blush, like all over blush. I wear them as a highlight. This one's called Rose Gold. I don't really reach for this because I feel like it's a bit too light for me. That's Rose Gold. It's a gorgeous highlight colour, but sometimes I don't know, I don't seem to reach for this. I reach for the next one, which is Sunrise. I reach for Sunrise a lot more, and that looks like this. This is more on the brown side with red undertones, and also with a slight sheen, shimmer to it as well. That's Sunrise. They're very close, but I feel like it has more of a gold undertone to it. I think Sunrise is on the left. I think it's on the left. And then Rose Gold has more of a pinky type undertone to it. So I would normally go for Sunrise and just like apply it to the top of my cheeks for a really nice glow, really nice highlight colour. And then we have the palettes. They came up with 5 palettes which had 3 blushes inside. Some of them are dupes for the older ones, but not quite, but I will let you know. So the first one I'm going to show you is called Pumpkin, and this consists of 3 shades. So this is Pumpkin Pie, this is Squash, and that's Lantern. Pumpkin Pie is a bright cool orange. Squash is a cool pink with a slight sheen, and Lantern is a red with subtle shimmer. I have just swatched Aruba and Pumpkin Pie next to each other. That's Aruba and that's Pumpkin Pie, and they're pretty similar, pretty close. So if you couldn't get Aruba, you can definitely get the Pumpkin palette, and you can use Pumpkin Pie as your dupe. So I really like this one. It's the Pink Sprint blush palette. Pinktini, Pink Ice and Pink Parfait. Pinktini is a dark raspberry shade. Pink Ice is a neon pink. And Pink Parfait is a soft berry rose shade. And they're all matte shades. So we have Pinktini, Pink Ice and Pink Parfait. So more on the pinky side, very bright, vibrant shades. So obviously you would have to apply with a light hand if you wanted to have more of a subtle look. But it's one of my second favourite palettes as well. Then we have the Sugar palette. We have Turbanado, Muscovado and Dermerera. These are the names of the blushes. Turbanado is a matte berry red. Muscovado is a plum with gold shimmer. And Dermerera is a muted peachy brown shade. I'm going to swatch Muscovado with Sunrise. So we have Sunrise and Muscovado, and they're pretty much similar as well. So if you couldn't get Sunrise, you can definitely go for the Muscovado shade. Then we have the Flame palette, Embrace, Bonfire and Molten. Embrace is like a warm brown orange with subtle sheen. Bonfire in the middle is like a matte red. And Molten is a bright orange with golden sheen. Bonfire will be a good dupe to the Scandalous blush. So this is Scandalous and that's Bonfire. Pretty close as well. Scandalous might be slightly darker, but they're pretty similar, so you could always go for Bonfire. Furnace is supposed to be a good dupe to the Coral blush. So that's coral and that's furnace. So coral is slightly more coral than molten, but they're pretty similar as well. So that's all I have for sleek blushes. I then have two Nars blushes. One is a powder blush and the other is a cream blush. First one is Dolce Vita. And then we have Cassandre. And this is a cream blush. Dolce Vita is a dusty rose and Cassandre is more of a berry type colour. You kind of have to build up the colour, but that's Dolce Vita and that's Cassandre.